Hey everyone, Daniel here and welcome back to another video. I hope all of you are having a great day out there. As always, here today, I want to talk to you all about cryptocurrencies, which took a major tumble this morning after FUD continues to get spread around Bitcoin in China and Bitcoin recently experiencing a death cross. So in this video, I don't just want to touch on the topic of the digital asset industry and my opinion on what's going to happen here in the coming months and in the coming years, but I also want to touch on the potential implications that this has on stocks like Voyager Digital, Bigg Digital, and Coinbase, which are all involved in the cryptocurrency brokerage or exchange space. We'll also touch on crypto mining stocks and my thoughts on what's been happening on them or with them over the past couple of weeks and months and what might happen moving forward. So if you end up enjoying this video and finding some value in it, please consider subscribing. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So this morning, we saw a massive crash in the price of cryptocurrencies across the board, and I like to use Bitcoin as almost like the index of the industry. That pretty much is what Bitcoin is at this moment in time. What happens with the price of Bitcoin generally gets mirrored with the remainder of the cryptocurrency market. I think longer term that association will be broken, at least in the future. We'll see when, but currently what happens with Bitcoin generally gets mirrored with the remainder of the crypto market. And what we saw this morning was Bitcoin crossed the 30,000 level. Bitcoin went right around at $29,000. That's where it bottomed out, and it's recovered since then. And this is something that has been mirrored with pretty much all cryptocurrencies and all cryptocurrency related stocks along those lines, this rebound that we've seen. But when we think about it, what caused this dip and what's caused this massive dip that we've seen in crypto prices across the board, not just today, but over the past couple of weeks and past couple of months, as it really has been a bit of a rough ride for cryptocurrency investors, whether you're a stock investor investing in a company associated with the cryptocurrency industry or just investing in cryptocurrencies, straight up through potentially Coinbase, Binance, Voyager. Pretty much everyone is getting negatively impacted at this moment in time. And in my opinion, these moves that we've seen here in the cryptocurrency industry over the past couple of days here can really be associated with two main things. First and foremost, China. What's been happening with Bitcoin in China? Obviously, this has been a major talking point with a lot of media outlets and cryptocurrency YouTubers out there, the situation with cryptocurrencies in China. Well, first and foremost, China is pretty much going at it and banning Bitcoin and digital assets across the board. They don't want to be associated with it, and they recently went ahead and pulled the power off of a Bitcoin mining operation within China. So what we've seen over the past couple of weeks and past couple of months is continued elevated fear with Bitcoin in China. But I just want to point one thing out to all of you. Everyone's talking about Bitcoin in China and how China going out and banning cryptocurrencies may be absolutely awful for the industry. Well, first and foremost, let's get some perspective. The population of China currently sits at around 1.4 billion people, while the population of the entire world sits at 7.8 billion. So even if worse comes to worse, cryptocurrencies get banned within China, no one living in China can actually participate and buy and sell and use cryptocurrencies and the blockchain. Worst comes to worst, that's maybe 15-20% of the world's population. So to see cryptocurrency prices fall 50% in a matter of months, in that kind of fear mainly being attributed to Bitcoin in China, again, you really have to put some perspective into this. And I just want to draw one very interesting example that I found here over the past couple of days. Facebook, YouTube, Google, Twitter, all of them are pretty much banned in China. Does that mean that they weren't able to succeed over the past decade? No, they've grown into massive businesses, massive corporations that have done very well over the past decade despite not being able to operate within the Chinese market. So even if China does get taken out of the equation, you really need to consider the potential impact that this does have on the cryptocurrency industry. And in my opinion, the United States is really the market we should be looking at and really focusing in on when it comes to regulation and potential banning of cryptocurrencies and digital assets across the board. Obviously, there have been a lot of countries coming out, like El Salvador, going out and denouncing cryptocurrencies as potentially legal tender and really embracing blockchain and cryptocurrencies. There's been some talk with Texas going out and embracing blockchain and the cryptocurrency industry. So in my opinion, the impact that China has is really muted by the remainder of the world and shouldn't really be responsible for such a massive 10-20% drop drop in cryptocurrency prices. Now, kind of adding on top of what we've seen in China, we have seen some technical negatives when it comes to the price of Bitcoin and the digital asset industry as a whole. Just a couple of days ago, we went ahead and experienced a Bitcoin death cross. This is when the 50-day moving average crosses over the 200-day moving average when it comes to the price of Bitcoin here. This happened just a couple of days ago, and generally this is expressed as more of a negative event that generally does lead to more downside in the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency related stocks and other cryptocurrencies across the board. So what we see here moving forwards is highly debated. Obviously, there is a chance we do end up going to that $20,000 range. Keep in mind, Bitcoin has never gone below the peak that it hit in its previous cycle. Bitcoin does trade in these cycles of 1 to 2 year bull markets, then a bear market, then a consolidation period. And in its last bear market, or rather last bull market, Bitcoin hit $20,000 at its peak. So historically speaking, Bitcoin should not go under $20,000. If that does happen, we can experience more movements to the downside again. In my opinion, highly unlikely we see a continued 33-34% drop in the price of Bitcoin. Could it happen? It very well could. But in my opinion, the catalysts really aren't there, and we've really factored in a lot of fear when it comes to this whole China situation, which in my opinion really doesn't have that huge of an impact on the cryptocurrency industry as a whole. So do we see a bear market in cryptocurrencies over the coming years? We could, right? I can't tell you whether to buy or sell Bitcoin, and I can't tell you what's going to happen moving forwards, but in my opinion, the chances that we see a bear market are very, very unlikely given this period of consolidation. Almost makes me even more bullish, as we really have kind of exited those very, very lofty valuations that we saw back in around April, March, when Bitcoin topped at around $65,000. In my opinion, this is healthy for the industry. Now, how does this impact cryptocurrency related stocks like Voyager, like Bigg Digital, like Coinbase? We'll also touch on Hut 8 and other cryptocurrency mining stocks. But talking about cryptocurrency brokerages and exchanges like Voyager Digital, down 5% today. Bigg Digital down 2.5% today. Coinbase down 1.25% today. Again, these were down much more earlier in the day when cryptocurrency prices were down more significantly. But in my opinion, the correlation that we've seen with the price of Bitcoin and digital assets and the stock prices of these different cryptocurrency brokerages and exchanges, in my opinion, is something that really should dissipate over the coming years and over the coming months, as you do need to consider the fact that whether Bitcoin goes up or down, it doesn't matter for a lot of these companies, as they make money off of volume. They don't care if cryptocurrency prices go up or down. There's always going to be people trading cryptocurrencies, and the downward movements that we just saw with a lot of these cryptocurrencies just this morning of something that equates to a lot of volume for Voyager, to a lot of volume with Netcoins, which again is owned by Bigg Digital, to a lot of volume on Coinbase. So this correlation between the price of Bitcoin and the price of these cryptocurrency related stocks, at least in the short term, in my opinion, doesn't make much sense and is much more comparable to something like Hut 8, a mining company. Again, there are a lot of companies out there that, or rather publicly traded companies that do mine Bitcoin, CleanSpark, Marathon, all great crypto mining companies. This makes more sense. If Bitcoin falls, the amount of profit these companies make off of each Bitcoin mined decreases. But when it comes to these cryptocurrency brokerages and exchanges, this correlation, although it may happen psychologically, it doesn't make sense on paper, as they make money off of volatility. They don't lose money when Bitcoin goes down, or when Bitcoin goes up. They continue making money whether it goes down or up because of cryptocurrency volatility. Now, to speak more about this whole situation that we saw with the cryptocurrency industry just this morning, the potential risks, I'm going to play you a clip of the CEO of Voyager Digital. And if you're exposed to the cryptocurrency industry, whether that be through a cryptocurrency related stock or a crypto as a whole like Bitcoin or Ethereum, this is a very interesting clip and share some insight into what happened with crypto this morning, what's psychologically happening with a lot of cryptocurrency investors, and what might happen moving forwards. Let's roll the clip.
Our next guest leads a popular Canadian crypto brokerage. Joining us now is Voyager Digital co-founder and CEO Steve Ehrlich in New York City. Welcome to the show, Steve. So we see Bitcoin falling below $30,000, that psychological level. How far do you see it going? You have a unique perspective in terms of seeing volumes and selling and buying pressures.
Yeah, we see it dropping maybe a little bit more, but we're also seeing a lot more money coming into the platform again as people see this as another opportunity to buy. Again, this is a long-term asset. It's not something that our customers are actively trading in and out all day long. We see a lot of that, but we're seeing a bunch of our customers come in with more money looking for long-term gains on this asset. And we're seeing it not just on Bitcoin, but across a bunch of the other altcoins too that we have. More money coming in and more purchasing going on.
Hi, Steve. Welcome back to the show. Where are your retail customers? Where are they positioning their buy orders and sell orders? Do you have any indication as to where they're right now bunched up? I mean, we just went below 30,000. Is there anything down lower where you see a lot of buy orders, and anything up above where you see a lot of sell orders?
Yeah, well, we do have limit orders on the platform where people are stacking limit orders at all different prices, a lot below 30,000, because I think everyone believes that, this will be a dip that will recover. Maybe it won't recover right away, but it will recover in the near future, looking towards, into July. So we're seeing a lot of these stack up below 30,000 limit orders to buy.
Any particular price point?
No, I don't have that in front of me right now, but we're seeing, my team had told me that we're seeing a lot of limit orders just stacked up at different price points, all below 30,000.
Good morning, Steve. Welcome back to the show. So it seems like the main things that are moving the market these days are Elon Musk and China, and recently it's been the latter. In your view, how big a deal is what's happening in China for the crypto markets over the long term? Is this just something that people are going to react to over the next week or so, and then it's going to blow over, or will this actually have a significant impact on the crypto market?
I think it will have a short-term impact, but as I've said before, there's comments that come out of China that you don't know their real intentions, right? I mean, there's comments that come all the time about Bitcoin, about crypto, about other things. So you never take everything, at 100% face value. I think that it is a positioning tactic, and long-term that, we will be recover this and we'll go well past our 60,000 that we saw not too long ago. It'll take a little time, but we see this as a short-term pain, but a lot of long-term gain.
So, Steve, do you think it's really going to shake up the global mining industry? Like, do you see, mining actually moving to North America because of this?
There's a lot of that going on. I think you're seeing a lot of people explore that. We've seen the stories out of Miami about, mining coming to Miami. I think people will look for opportunities where they can get cheaper electricity and also stay green to be able to do that. So this is an opportunity for miners to look at different places and find where they can be most efficient with the ESG component of that as well.
So Steve, same question I asked Michael earlier from Amber Group. Do you think that since we had the big run up in Bitcoin from about 13,000 back in October all the way to 60, and then now we're down a bit since then, has this scared off the institutional interest at all? Are you seeing that? Have institutions that were looking at Bitcoin as a potential inflation hedge maybe see that value plus hedge is a lot lower than current prices?
We deal a lot in the small and mid-sized businesses, not the really large ones, but the small to mid-sized businesses that are core to our customer base. And we're seeing more and more accounts trying to open every day now to try to participate, because I think they look at this as a tremendous opportunity for their treasuries, and the opportunity that, below 30,000, we did have this enormous run, but this is to be expected. I think that you're going to see a pullback, and yes, it's probably greater than we all expected. But at the same time, it is that opportunity. And these small to mid-sized businesses are putting money into Bitcoin and to the stable coins to earn interest as well. So we're seeing more and more of that come into the platform as well on the small to mid-sized business segment.
So one thing that I do really like about Steve Ehrlich is that he goes on a lot of interviews whenever something happens in the cryptocurrency industry that has a major impact on crypto stocks or cryptocurrencies as a whole. He's out there talking about what happened, and a lot of the things that he mentioned, at least here today, are really parallel to other cryptocurrency brokerages that are also publicly traded, like Netcoins or like Coinbase. So let's go through just a few of the things that he mentioned here that do have a major impact on what's happening here in the crypto industry industry. First and foremost, a lot of people are taking advantage of the dip that we just saw this morning. They're coming onto the platform, depositing more money, and buying the dip. This is very interesting and shows that no matter what's happening, if cryptocurrency prices are moving up or down, people are continuing to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrencies, which again is showcasing the fact that these brokerages, they make money whether cryptocurrency prices move up or down. They make money off of volume. So people are also stacking limit orders. This is something that he mentioned. Again, focusing in on the volume of cryptocurrencies. And then he touched on China, the potential impact that China has on the cryptocurrency market. Again, in my opinion, it really comes down to scale. In China, although they are the largest country in the world based off of population, when you really consider it, they do only make up a small percentage of the total population of the world. He did mention that this is more of a shorter term impact, and longer term, this shouldn't have that big of an impact on the digital asset industry. And he's saying what's happening here with them potentially banning cryptocurrencies, take this with a grain of salt because there is a lot of lack of transparency when it comes to China and the rest of the world. And when we talk about them banning cryptocurrencies, they have been very back and forth with this historically speaking. So we'll see what happens here moving forwards. They do appear to be taking this more seriously currently, but again, it's really going to take the next couple of years here to get more transparency and get a better idea of what's happening within the Chinese market. He did talk a little bit about cryptocurrency mining, how it is moving away from China, and how cryptocurrency mining will be concentrated within areas that provide the cheapest and most efficient energy moving forwards. It will be up to the miners themselves to find the cheapest and most efficient areas. Now, next year he talked about institutional ownership of cryptocurrencies, and if this dip has really changed the mindset of a lot of institutional investors out there. Now, Steve pointed to the fact that a majority of Voyager's customers isn't institutional investors, but rather small and medium-sized businesses, which he said make up around 25% of all the activity on Voyager. He did say that more participants are coming to the cryptocurrency industry on the topic of small and medium-sized businesses to take advantage of this dip that we just saw. In my opinion, this is very, very good and very bullish for the industry, as what happens with Voyager, again, tends to get mirrored with Netcoins and with Coinbase. So more likely than not, what we've been seeing here with this dip in cryptocurrency prices over the past couple of days, past 24 hours, institutional investors, small, medium-sized businesses are going out, they're buying the dip, and that makes me very bullish on the industry moving forwards. And again, shows this correlation between Bitcoin and Voyager as really being non-existent, at least in my opinion, despite the stocks tracking each other. Now, again, Voyager Digital stock now has recovered around 3.4% down again. It was down around 4% once we started this video. Bigg Digital now in the green territory. Coinbase still down around 1.4%. As cryptocurrency prices recover, in my opinion, these stocks will do well. So the last thing that I want to touch on here is the stock price of Voyager Digital, Bigg Digital, and Coinbase. What has been happening here over the past couple of days, weeks, months? What are my opinions on it, and what am I doing moving forwards? Well, first and foremost, I want to touch on Voyager, as this is my largest position in the stock market. I also hold their native token, the VGX token, which also did take a tumble along with the crypto industry as a whole this morning. But what we've seen over the past couple of months is cryptocurrency related stocks and cryptocurrency brokerage and exchange stocks like Voyager, Bigg Digital, Coinbase suffer dramatically despite fundamentals continuing to improve with the company. When I look at Voyager, Bigg, and potentially Coinbase, again, Coinbase is a little bit more blurry as they don't offer as many monthly updates, but Voyager, they've been increasing revenues and customers, total funded accounts, and volume pretty much month over month over month. Same goes for Bigg Digital. Coinbase, in my opinion, same thing goes for them. They're continuing to grow. So despite this, despite continued increases in profits and revenues, total funded accounts, assets under management, not as much because of the dip that we just saw, but fundamentals continue to improve at these companies despite their stock prices falling. And I know I've made this connection a lot on the channel, but I feel like it's really important, especially with companies like Voyager, Bigg, and Coinbase that are experiencing improvements in fundamentals and the stock price is staying stagnant or going down. One of the perfect examples and correlations to this is Tesla. Tesla is a company that continued to experience improvements in its fundamentals throughout really 2015 to 2020, despite the stock price continuing to go down year over year or staying stagnant. In 2020, investors realized the potential that Tesla and the EV industry have and we obviously saw a massive spike in its stock price. Now, is that going to happen with Voyager? Is it going to stay down for years upon years? In my opinion, not, because of how quickly they're growing in comparison to even Tesla back then. But it really is going to take a change in perspective and a change in perception to really get Voyager Digital stock moving. That will come, in my opinion, as they continue to uplist to more exchanges, as numbers continue to come out when it comes to revenues and profits and funded accounts. This is correct across the board when it comes to Bigg Digital. Same thing, as the numbers come out, investors will have a hard time realizing the truth that these companies are extremely profitable, growing quickly, and are in an industry that continues to expand. The only problem that investors have right now is the potential for a bear market, which again, I think that's highly unlikely. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Are we going to see a bear market in cryptocurrencies throughout the remainder of 2021? If you enjoyed this video and find some value in it, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.